I hadn't added myself to the stream. Here we are. Good grief. Y'all know how my month went. If you saw how I was struggling right now with this live, welcome everybody. This is Nikki with That Homeschool Life, where I strive to bring you real, honest, and practical homeschooling advice, tutorials, laughs, encouragement, whatever you need, honey. Just whatever you need to get you through that day. I hope I can help you in that endeavor. All right, so this. Oh, I didn't even do my layers. Okay, hold on, y'all. I'm so raggedy today. So this video, I'm doing my October homeschool update, and I am hella late, but that's okay because it's better late than never. So let me just put that in the overlay. October, bear with me, guys. October homeschool update. So listen, when you guys come in, shout out where you're from, what part of the universe, the hemisphere, the galaxy you are coming from. Because as I tell you, it helps to build the tribe where everybody can see where everybody is. And then you guys can kind of get in contact with each other and build your local tribe and, keep it popping. So we definitely want to do that. Let me take some of these things off. My goodness. Okay. So here we are. All right. What's up, Jessica? Good to see you. Kamika. Hold on, I gotta click on this stuff. There you go. All right, I'm back to normal now. Lily, what's up? 3AK Homeschool, San Diego, another Californian in the house. Katesh, hey love. We got Ohio here, Central Ohio. Is this starting to snow over there yet? Lily's from North Carolina. Danielle, hey girl, what's up? Crystal from Washington State. All right, pile on in, guys. Pile on in. Coffee and kiddos, New York. Because if you got kiddos, you got to have some kind of coffee, some kind of stimulant to help you out. Kamika's in Tennessee. Tennessee is beautiful. I really like Tennessee. Daughters of Jacob. She from the UK, y'all. We international tonight. What's up, lady? All the way across the pond. 3AK, longtime viewer, finally got on a live. Oh, I'm so happy to hear that. Now that reminds me about the live. Mona, another veteran mama in the house from New York. Okay, so y'all, I know it's been a minute, but I warned y'all. I told y'all. What's up, official Yaya? Iron Sharpens Iron Ball Academy. Wait a minute, you're on my other IG page. I see you. I get all your notifications. People Pops Land. I think that you are a minor girl that has a growing, thriving business, a young entrepreneur, if I recall correctly. I'm going to check your page out when I get off of here. But I remember I was so impressed by what you were doing. I think you make dolls or something like that. I got boys. I don't know about your world, but I'm going to check you out because you were so amazing that I followed your page. Well, Sarah, what's up, girl? S. Brown. All right, so let me just jump into it. Now, first, it's just water and apple cider vinegar, y'all. It needs to be something stronger. Let me just start off by saying, usually when I do my monthly updates, I have like a learning moment, something like a takeaway, what I've learned looking back. And what I've learned looking back on October is, girl, stop looking back. No, seriously, just stop looking back and you can do a quick little glance. You're trying to change lanes, a quick glance, but just keep going. And I'm gonna tell you why I say that. So hold me to that. Hold me to that, okay? Yes, people, Pops Land. She has a business, a toy business. So those of you on IG, go check out her page and follow her, and then buy out all of her stuff for Christmas, because this young lady is definitely going somewhere with her business. Okay. Oh, that's my son. He's leaving for practice. Giver Choir says, saying thanks to our creator for such blessings to know things are well with you and your family. Sweet listening. Oh, that is so sweet. Thank you so much for saying that. sometimes I forget to do this. Every now and then when we have our Friday night lives, I like to start with a win, just, build our confidence and just to get us thinking about what is a win. So when I just said stop looking back and look forward, that's a win. Okay. It's those little things that we discount that really propel us forward. Those are those little baby steps, the little ant steps that we take that we just discount. We can't see it because our face is right in front of the tree instead of seeing the forest, right? So here's my thing. So for October, um, October for a lot of homeschoolers is that witching month. What do I mean by that? I don't mean Halloween. October is that time of the year where if you started homeschooling traditionally, like in August or at least by Labor Day, you're in your groove, you got your curriculum and stuff, or whatever you choose to use to educate your children, and you're trying it out. Maybe your kids are in activities or co-ops or classes, whatever. By the time September rolls around, you're either in the stuff that you're doing, you're participating, you're moving along. And then toward, middle or the end of September, you know, you might be flying or you might be diving. One or the other. You might be doing both. One kid you might be flying with, and the other kid you might be on a full 20-foot dive down off the Azures. So, and then the other kid might just be plateau, right? You just never know. So when you're thinking about these, I lost my train of thought. When you're thinking about, so going back to giver, so when you're thinking about these blessings, so for October, got my train of thought back. So for October, I know after almost 13 years in this, I know October is that month where everything is in full swing. Either something's working for us or not with our curriculum. All my kids got 50 million practices, private coaching, tournaments, games. It's crazy. And that's when I know, okay, that's also when the weather starts to change, sickness starts floating around. So I always know, come like couple weeks before October, I start getting myself ready. I make sure I get all my stuff for those sniffles and colds and fevers. I got all that on deck. I got my grocery buying is more intentional. Okay, the stuff that I have in my garden, I make sure I'm attending to it more often. My lettuce, my kales, the things that I use the most often, so I don't have to keep going into the store and then buying extra stuff. So I always start prepping myself for October because I know that's gonna kick my butt. And then I also start looking at, okay, it's going to be crazy. What's my go-to? What am I going to do to reel myself back in? Because that's the main thing, guys. You can have all the best laid plans. If you don't have plans for how to maneuver those shaky waters, and I mean like real plans for how to maneuver those shaky waters, you just start reinventing the wheel and then you just spiral. You don't reinvent the wheel. You just start spiraling down. What that got to do with me right now? So for October, knowing all this going around, plus my oldest son, who is in 9th grade, is in public school. So that's something totally new for me. So those are new curveballs that's adding to October. So this is what I learned when I say don't look back, just keep forward. And I'm going to start with my oldest child, my 9th grader. I was going to start with my 5th grader, but the spirit is moving me to start with my 9th grader. Let me tell y'all something. For those of you that worry about homeschooling for high school or putting your child in high school for whatever reason, maybe it's just temporary, like for us, or maybe it's long-term, don't matter. And I just want to reassure you, you're doing just fine as a homeschooler. Let me tell you why. Now, my son goes to a competitive high school, academically and in some sports, athletically. And I talked to him a couple of weeks ago because he said something to me, and it was something about his teacher. And I said, I forgot what he said about his teacher, his biology teacher. It's becoming his favorite class. And so I was asking him about one of the kids in his classroom who plays football with him. And he was like, yeah, he's cool, No, I was asking like who he hangs out with. And he said, "Oh, during lunch." And he says, "During lunch, oh, I just hang out with the teachers." I'm like, "What do you mean you hang out with the teachers during lunch?" I'm like, "Teachers want to get away from y'all." It's like, "No, so and so, his biology teacher, he opens up his classroom, and a number of teachers do that. And he's like, students, if they want to come in and eat, chill, whatever, whatever, they do that." He's like, "I always go in there and we just sit and talk and hang out." I said, "That's interesting. You're pretty popular. You have you can always sit at the football table." He always says that, but on 2 days out the week he goes to the teacher. And so I said, "That's interesting. Tell me more about him and why you do that." He was like, I just like hanging out with people that aren't the same age as me." I said, "Boom, there you go." That's a result of homeschooling. And let me tell you, because I talked to his teacher, and the teacher noticed almost immediately that my son, he didn't know he was a homeschooler. He just knew he was different. And so I talked to him. Um, but he was like, he comes in, he's like, he's such a joy when he comes into the classroom, because he just has a different kind of conversations. I can like really like talk to him, and sometimes I forget he's just like in ninth grade. And I was like, you know what, that is music to my ears. I love that, because that's what we want. Those life skills we want our kids to have. People are always saying, "Oh, what about socialization and stuff like that?" My kids, for the last couple of years, they would be in classes with kids 2, 3 years younger than them, like little babies. And my kids would be like, "You kind of young to be in this class." They'll be in class with gray hair nannies or grannies. I'm not kidding you. So just being able to socialize outside your artificially constructed peer group is so beneficial. And I was just really happy to see that those skills were carrying over into this uh prepared world of public school. So I wanted to start off with a win with that, because sometimes you look back and we think, "Oh, should I have put them in this or done that or whatever, whatever." It's like, no, there's no looking back. You just take what you got and then you just move forward. You mold things and align it to where you are right now and move forward. But I just wanted to share that with you. Also, the English teacher, my son brought home his reading. Now we're like in October. I'm like, what y'all reading in English? "Mom, we're not reading any books yet." I'm like, "You don't have me email this woman and ask her where's the book list," because I'm like, if you in English, you got to have at least, you should be on your second book by now. We read. He says, "I don't know, Mom, but please don't email the teacher." I was like, "No, I'm not gonna get you in trouble," because you know how I get down. So I'm not gonna get you in trouble. So finally, like maybe October 15th or something, he comes home with the book, and it's The House on Mango Street. I said, "Oh, okay, she's starting off with that. That's cool." But I was waiting to see what he's gonna say. And I was like, I had this look on my face, like, he was like, I said, "What you want to do?" I said, "How you want to play this?" He says, "Well, I'll just do everything over again, but I'll use my notes. We read that book years ago through Stacey Lloyd." Now, some of y'all know, some of my veteran followers, I love me some Stacey Lloyd. She is a creator, a content creator on teacherspayteachers.com. For all my high school moms or your precocious middle schoolers, she has the best novel unit guides. Let me see if I got one right here. They are so beautifully put together. Oh my gosh, it's like works of art. Works of art. Hold on, I have it here. I just got so many. I got so much stuff here. Remember, I started bringing stuff up here. Stacey, hold on. Okay, I'll come back in a second. So anyway, I said, "You gonna pull out your old novel guide of House on Mango Street and just turn those pages in?" Because he writes in erasable ink, so he can just like erase the date. I said, "That's technically not cheating because you did the work." But I'm like, "Son, this is perfect. You got a free pass for the next 2, 3, or 4 weeks, however long you're reading this book, and you can just do something else. I can give you a book to read." It's like, "No, no, Mom, I'll just do that." So anyway, just know what we choose for our kids. You're not some crazy off the range person. Schools and teachers be using stuff. There's good stuff out there. And I like that with us, we were able to go at our own pace and really talk about things and stuff like that. So he's going to see how they do things in class versus what we've done in class. What he said he does like is that when we do those pages, we really have like really good discussions, and then if we kind of trail off, we find something interesting, we'll immediately stop the work and then we'll go online and get some information. So of course then they can't do that in school, but anyway, I thought that was interesting. Now, because he has a little grace period for like 3 or 4 weeks, however long they read that book. He also doesn't have sixth period, which is a sport. Now that football is over, he's in wrestling, but wrestling's after school. So he gets out of school early. He gets out of school at 1 o'clock twice a week, which I'm like, oh, I can give you something to do. It's like, no, Mom, I'll just stay at school. Like, no, we'll do something fun. So he is in, and I'm gonna wrap up my high schooler, but this is what I wanted to share with you guys. So he's going to be working on a maker's portfolio. I think I talked about this last video. Listen, college is becoming obsolete. Let me tell you. So my son is in this artificial intelligence boot camp. You have to apply to get into this boot camp. They only accept 20 students. And it's hosted by a famous person. And there are like 3 mentors for his camp, because the camp is all across the country. And his mentor, he works at Caltech, and not there, I'm sorry, at JPL, Jet Propulsion Laboratory. And for those of you who don't know, that's a big deal. So he's one of the mentors in the class. And so I was talking to him during lunchtime, and the only mom there, and you got to play dumb, because those little nerds, they feel threatened very easily. So, you got to play like you don't know anything and what they say is amazing. So I'm like, tell me about these little maker portfolios. What are kids doing? What are you seeing when you're hiring new people or interns? He was like, first of all, don't tell a lot of people this. College is not necessary. He says, for what we do, what we look for, we have to spend so much time deprogramming the kids that come from Stanford, Caltech, UCLA, because they get a lot of California kids, but kids around the world. He's like, because they don't have current skills. I'm putting y'all on some game right now. We have to spend months getting their coding, Java, Python, even C+. All of that, they have to get them up to speed on that, and then they can introduce the next layer of learning. He was like, I tell my interns who are still in high school, and this man makes almost $500,000 a year. I tell them, get your certifications in all your coding and programming. He was like, Google doesn't even want college degrees anymore. Even if your kid doesn't want to go into tech, maybe your kid's into humanities or writing or history, whatever. Listen, the way this world and economy is, being able to have income coming in where you can work from home, and then you can pursue your interests. If you want to write a book, if you want to teach, building up that nest egg so you can afford a home or pay off loans or whatever. This is a nice way to get that going. He was like, you can take all these certifications. They build upon each other. But he was like, these starting salaries, a minimum $125,000. He was like my kids, he's got 1 in middle school, 2 in middle school, and 1 in like 5th grade. He was like, that's all he has them do. Just code. You can start taking these classes, these coding classes, to or the certificates for like Google for like programmers. I think it used to be, because I knew about this years ago, I think you could be 16. I think they raised it to 18, but you can start prepping before, and then right when you turn 18, go ahead and take the test. But let me tell you, if your child is so inclined, especially if your child likes to play video games and all that stuff, virtual reality, the metaverse, that I'm just saying, I'm going to do a video on that alone, so I can like give you guys the links and the names and all of that. So, and let me tell you, they're pushing for girls. if you got a daughter, this will be great for her to get in and make her money and be able to work her hours, and it just be something totally different. All right, so but let me get back to more of the homeschool update. So for my 5th grader, okay, now let me back it up. So one thing that we are doing kind of differently this year than previous years, I have my kids in more online classes. Usually we would do online classes for like enrichment things like history. I mean, history's not enrichment, but like fun little things like the history of chocolate or something like that. And for the core classes, reading, writing, math, etc., I would teach. But this year, I've outsourced most of those classes. The reason being, in Jailtown, California, by the way, our governor is still missing. In California, everything's on lockdown. And so a lot of the homeschooling classes or the institutions that would host homeschool classes are shut down, or they have such restrictions that it's such a different experience now. So just getting my kids out to like hang out with their friends that they would see, every month at the science center or at the aquarium or at the Natural History Museum, or all of these things that my kids would be able to go to. Their water class, they had classes where they would go kayaking. All of that is gone. It's gone. So to get them to be engaged with other kids, I have them in online classes, and a lot of them are on OutSchool. Now for my 5th grader, for math, we're still doing Singapore Dimensions. I like it. It's solid. The teacher is amazing. She's fun. He's always laughing in class. They break up into like private groups. So the kids get to work one-on-one with another student, and then the teacher breaks it up to where the teacher works one-on-one with one student while the other two students are always working together. Oh, hold on, guys. Let me catch up on these comments. Oh, you're welcome, Giver. Intentionally Made says, my husband works for a website designer company, a Google company, and it's so true. Things are changing. Yes, thank you. I'm telling you, even if your child does not have an affinity for tech, there are a lot of things we have to do that we don't like. You can just devote a couple of weeks of studying to pass these tests, just especially when you're at the verge of adulthood, then I would say try it. I would say try it, because especially if you're looking at going to a 4-year university and coming out with $200,000 worth of debt, no, ma'am. No, ma'am. I say, if you don't like it, that's fine. You don't like making money, at least to get you where you want to go. You want to buy a house. You want to start your own business. You want to just have a nest egg. I'm just throwing that out. But believe me, I'm going to talk about that on another video with like receipts and details and things for you to actually get it going. Yes, S. Brown, rabbit hole learning is awesome. That's probably the one thing that my son does miss the most, is just us sitting on the couch, we're reading, and then he says something, what does that mean? Or whatever. And then I'm like, put it down. Let me get my phone. And then we look it up, and then we just go off on a tangent. That's why sometimes it takes us a long time to get through our books. Like I'll get to this in a second. So for 5th grade, let me stay on track. So he's got his math class. He's doing 2 math classes, the Singapore math, and then a math games class that's Singapore based. So he's having so much fun. The teachers are amazing. I vet them out. I be in the classroom off to the side like this watching. Love the teachers. I love those teachers. Hey, Miss Queen Afua. So that's for math. Also for history, my kids are doing book chart, Eastern Hemisphere. Love it, love it, love it. We are on we are on the Koreas. We're wrapping up the Koreas, and I think Japan is next. And I love the activities that come with it. You guys know I like book chart, but you got to watch which history you choose. I don't like people telling my side of the story. But for Eastern Hemisphere, because I don't have a lot of credible sources on my own, I am using that, and I'm finding that I can, there's one thing I had to cross check, but I'm happy with it. I don't feel it's too slanted or biased in any one way. So we are pleased with that. It is a lot of reading, though. Okay, it's a lot of reading, and I've been getting my books off of eBay. Okay, so just so you know, and I did I think 2 videos ago I did a review on Bookshare. So check that out if you're interested. Books that we're reading. So he's in 5th grade. And so, I put a lot of books in front of my kids and I let them have a book walk or a book sit down where I put like 10 to 15 books in front of them. I give them a snack. I tell them, look at the cover of the book and then read the back and then decide if that's something you want to do. Give me your short list of 5 books. And then from those 5, we'll talk about from that list, what we're going to read. And there we go. So he did Bridge to Terabithia, Rules by Cynthia Lloyd, Gulliver's Travels, and I think we got to choose our next book. Okay. Spanish, Duolingo. You know what, y'all? I always try a curriculum, like it, then hate it, then like it again. But it's just because I if you're an unschooler, you probably hate me. Like, girl, you be buying too much stuff. But I'm just drawn to it. That's just my training, with having a master's in curriculum design. I'm just always drawn to it and how you can pull out parts of it for that child. But let me tell you, with the Spanish, I know I struggle with the foreign language, but I put my kids in a Spanish class on OutSchool and they love it. I wish it were every day, but it's not. But it's working really well because my high schooler is in, we're at 26 minutes. Let me wrap it up. So my high schooler is taking Spanish and we just finished a project, right? Corral the kids. And so it's been a nice little symbiotic relationship with big brother and the younger two. So I'm pleased with Spanish and Duolingo, and just, I have some Spanish keys. I didn't bring them in here, but, I'm just finding just the little conversations, just working on. I mean, my husband's part Spanish. I'm like, come on, but his generation, his mom's generation was a generation that came over to America and they wanted to assimilate. They had to assimilate and they basically wiped out all traces of their heritage to assimilate. So now, there's a reverse on that where parents are just embracing their culture and everything like that. So anyway, so that's always been a struggle, but it's moving along now. I'm gonna skip some things with 5th grade. He's well, remember I was talking about grammar? I think we're pretty solid with grammar. I gotta say, remember I went back to well-ordered language and I mixed it in with Michael Clay Thompson. Guys, I did a video on that. That's a potent recipe right there. I feel like after this year, we're going to be good with grammar. And anything that we need to know is just something I just pull up from, like, those grammar books that have all the common misspellings or, commonly misspelled words or, whatever that. It would be to pull out a reference just to check something. But I am pleasantly surprised with how far the diagramming has taken their thought process when thinking about grammar. That you look at the diagram and you're like, really? But let me tell you, there is more to it. I'm actually seeing their thought. I how I like story-based learning. Somehow the diagramming is like maybe the geometry of learning on the humanities side, on the left brain side. But let me tell you, sentence diagramming really helps, at least for my kids, to see, process, divide, or put in place where it needs to be. They can literally see patterns. It's pattern recognition. And I didn't expect that because the books don't talk about that. But I recognized it immediately when my child was talking it out and he was diagramming a pretty complicated sentence. I was like, all right, here you go. So then he wanted to get paid for it. Like, you get paid for just doing work you're supposed to do. So I'm gonna have a follow-up on Michael Clay Thompson and well-ordered language. They go together beautifully. Let me see. Any comments so far? Let me see. Hey, Zoe. See, how do we start younger children in coding ages 6 to 9? Scratch. Let me see. I'm still on IG. Look, IG. Y'all come on over to YouTube. Get my views up. And shameless plug. I've been on here long enough. Come on over. Yes, S. Brown, Stacy Lloyd on Teachers Pay Teachers. I have, if you go to my homepage on YouTube, I have a video dedicated to her, and I think 3 or 4 of her unit guys. I bought her out, and I'm gonna do a video like on like all her Shakespeare stuff, all her literature stuff, her writing stuff. She's got so much. It is amazing. But yes, hey P Tracy, Classic Beauty. Thank you guys. Come on over to YouTube, and I will meet you guys there, and we'll continue the party. Love you guys. Peace. Okay, now I just got you and Facebook and Twitter. Okay, so coding Scratch. Okay, here. I ended IG so I can show this to you. Wait, share. Hold on. Share. Okay, I guess. Next. Post. Whatever. Okay, so it's called Scratch. It's free, and it's just it's a block-based programming. So your child doesn't need to know any math. They don't need to know nothing, but just want to be entertained. My kids started on that way back in the day. So here we go. Okay, so I'm going to show it to you what it looks like. I should do a video on Scratch. Let me write that down. Yeah, for youngins and actually for older kids, okay? Just, it helps. Remember I talked about sentence diagramming? Seeing the parts in the whole? That's what like Scratch is to me. What am I looking for? Oh, Scratch. Okay. So Scratch, just so you can see it on my Scratch screen, my iPhone screen, Scratch. All right. Yes, I would definitely wait. TCH, yeah. Child, I can't see. Okay, it looks just like this. It's put on by MIT. So this is the can y'all see that? Let's see. Let me adjust that for you. And scratch.mit.edu. Okay, and trying to show you some pictures. It's fun. It's really fun. It looks like that. You'll see the little cat fox thing, right? And that's how you know you're on the right page. And it's block-based coding. So you just drag and drop. Drag and drop. See, each of those blue lines is some kind of command that your animated person's going to do. And go turn left, turn right. You know, you're trying to get them to get to like the burger or something, you know, walk forward, you know. So it's real easy and it's fun. And then you can level up to other coding programs. But yeah, Zoe, get that. It's free. Outside of Scratch. Oh, okay. So outside of Scratch, I have to go into my tabs. Outside of Scratch, we've moved on to Python. There are 2 games. Let me see. Let me see if I can pull it up on here. Okay, homeschool coding. I'm trying to go into my tags because my kids have like 4 or 5 different programs that they use. Okay, can I search my tabs? Because I got like 50 million tabs. Maybe I should do a video on that. Hold on, let me see. Homeschool classes, Lego, science, math competitions, college prep, references, math, again, history, contests. Can y'all, is there a way to search your tabs or folders? I'll come back to that. But if you put in intermediate coding, like I know the names, so let me just see if I can find and they look really cool. Like my kids have done so many classes, intermediate coding, where they use these programs and they look like real video games, like, you know, those real like role player RPG games, but they're coding programs, and they're free. But there's a catch, because with these programs, sometimes there's subscription. I'm trying to find them. They're giving me boot camps. I'll ask my kids. Yeah, I'll ask my kids. But anyway, and let me do a follow-up video on that, Scratch and intermediate, because my kids last summer, they did a coding camp And no, I think they did it during the year because I always have them code throughout the year. And it was so interesting. And you actually like earned stuff. So it was almost like a video game, but you were doing it was Python though, which is a bit more advanced, but it was pretty cool. So it's not all dull and drab and just whole bunch of letters and numbers. It looks like a video game. I'm telling you, they're really cool. But I'll come back to you on that. I'll definitely get a video out on that. Are your kids doing math with an outschool teacher or another company? They are doing outschool. They're doing math through outschool, and it is for the whole semester. And and I'll tell you more about that in probably another video because I am going to have an announcement about my channel probably in a couple of days. See, 3AK says we cut back on American history, condensed reading a bit. Yeah, it's a lot depending on the ages of your kids, especially if you have different ages, trying to get everything in. There's so much. And then, but listen, we think, oh, you have plenty of time. Look, my son's in 9th grade, and I'm like, we got 3 years left. And I'm competing with school. I'm hoping this might be his last year, but now he's on the wrestling team and he's got his tribe. So it's looking kind of shaky with us. I'm not gonna lie. And I hate to say this, but I was kind of hoping that there might be a shutdown so he can come home. Because if they go online with schools, then it's a wrap. I'm like, you might as well just stay home and really, really learn. But man, he's in a good he's having the time of his life, I have to say. And that has mainly come from being in sports. So if he wasn't in any sports, it might be a totally different story. He does have teachers that he likes, but he's enjoying it. But it could be after a year, he might be over it. I don't know. The only thing is with football in the state of Stank, California, there are no, they are illegal. You cannot have competitive private football teams. So I don't know. We'll worry about that next year. Intentionally May says, we just started Duolingo for my 8-year-old for Japanese. Yes, we like Duolingo. And a lot of this, like when I used to teach in Japan, like technology wasn't big or anything like that. But one thing that was big was routine and consistency. Same time, same day, and whatever you were working on, you were doing it for 15 minutes or 20 minutes. It's a routine. You can be successful in anything if you just show up. I've talked about this before. If you just show up, which is half the battle, and then just be consistent. Just be consistent. Just do the work. Just do the work. Make a mistake. So what? Be consistent. Be consistent if you're dieting. Be consistent if you're trying to grow your hair out. Be consistent if you're trying to save money. It's just show up every day. Just those little, look, I got this book here. Hold on, y'all. Hold on, y'all. I'm trying to get it. Atomic Habits. Okay. I'm still reading it. Atomic Habits. Now, if you're in science, atomic is the it's that subatomic. You can't see it, right? It's so tiny you can't see. It's subatomic. It's like quantum, but it's there. It's very powerful. All those particles are there. They're going through us right now. They're here and they're very important, but we don't see it, and so we just take it for granted. But with us, when we have little habits, we just take for granted that just having a smoothie every morning, just a little smoothie, it's tiny. You might have that smoothie and then go on and have some fat burger, some Cheesecake Factory, and go drinking with your girlfriends. So what? But that one little tiny habit every morning eventually gets bigger. It's like compound interest. It gets bigger and bigger and bigger until now it's maybe 2 smoothies a day, or maybe instead of a small glass of a smoothie, now it's a bigger glass. So you have all these things. So don't I don't know how we got on that, but Atomic Habits, that's a great book. James Clear. Let me see. Writing and Rhetoric. Let me tell you about that. All right. Okay, listen. Y'all know how I like to supplement. Now, with Writing and Rhetoric book 2 and 3, I supplement with outlining because I don't think Writing and Rhetoric does the best job of teaching outlining, but they do everything else nice. I ran into another opportunity to supplement for writing and rhetoric for book 5 and book 6. So book 5 is refutation, confirmation, and then book 6 is commonplace, or vice versa. Basically persuasive writing. Now, when you get into persuasive writing or argumentative writing, whatever, you're having to list claims and it's just more involved. Writing and rhetoric, they're kind of ivory tower with how they introduce that, or how they're teaching that. I get it. My son gets it, but he needs more blue collar, or he needed more blue collar instruction to bring it full circle. And wouldn't you know, not looking back. So I'm like, you know what? We're not going back. We're just, it, it if it's gonna come, it's gonna come, because I'm not buying, I'm not doing any of all that. We're just gonna figure it out. And lo and behold, I ran across a book that my girlfriend Naima, who she's been on this channel before, she showed me, and it's called Greg Barron Writing Method. It's a little small book, maybe 40 pages or something. And so something just told me to open it, and I looked through it, and I was like, well, ding dong ding, this is perfect for writing and rhetoric. And trust and believe, I'm doing a video on this. I'm gonna do 2. One, it's gonna be next week. One on the writing supplement, and then how I use it. Okay, so that's all I'm going to tell you. No, I want to spark your interest, but let me tell you, my son loved it so much. He loved it so much, and it's a short little program, just to teach them writing a different way, like that kind of writing. He loved it so much. He would go to the class, which is just once a week, and it's optional, and I don't even pay for it. But he would just go there. I forgot about it. He's like, Mom, I'm going to class. I'm like, what class? It's not on schedule. Oh, so-and-so's class. I'm like, oh, really? Oh, he was getting himself there. 9 o'clock at 8 o'clock in the morning. Child, that's going to be a winner for some of you guys, especially for your older kids that are struggling with writing, and you don't want to buy all this curriculum and everything like that. Because the thing is, you use it for a couple of weeks and you're done with it forever, forever, ever, ever, forever, ever, forever, ever. Seriously. So that is coming. That is coming. Okay. What else do I have to say? Oh, science. Y'all know I struggle with foreign language, and I struggle with science. I am blinded by science. Thomas Dolby. Okay, so for science, I'm like, look, I got all this curriculum that I'm probably going to sell on my website. I'm just going to get rid of it. Let me tell you, my son, who's in biology, loves his biology teacher. So I'm looking at all this stuff he's bringing home, the stuff that he does bring home, because everything's on a freaking Chromebook. And I'm like, this what they teaching? This how they teaching? I'm like, we doing just fine at home, baby. We are doing just fine. Let me tell y'all, for those of you who are worried about science, chemistry, you got to do the experiments and lab reports, biology, we got the dissection of physics. Let me tell y'all, just because I talked to his teacher, the one that was like, he seems different. He's homeschooled, right? Because I think your son said he was homeschooled. Yeah, he homeschooled. Yeah. He was like, whatever you're doing, you keep doing at home, because these kids come in and they don't know, there's no excitement about science. It's just like, because it's been beat into them with those boring textbooks. It's just, that's why they have a lot of kids don't have interest in science, and it scares them. And then if you throw on math, oh, good God, them kids are gone to the hills. He was like, you're kind of so interested in so like adding commentary and stuff like that. Because we used to do a lot of experiments. They were working on cells and cell anatomy, and we made like a cell anatomy cake, and talking about it, and all just got dirty, nasty. He gave like a 10-minute talk about it. So for all of y'all wondering about science, get you some experiments. Get a book that has lots of experiments, quality experiments. And oh yeah, that's gonna be the next. Oh yeah, I'm back, because after football, Lord. Now my other son, he's got football, and they're undefeated, and they probably go into the championship. But luckily, my husband takes the reins on that. But I am back, and I'm back with a vengeance. Oh, trust me, I am. Y'all gonna be like, girl, can you just stop putting out these videos? I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. What was I about to write down? Yeah, what was I about to write down? Something about science? Was it science? Oh, science experiments. Yes. And I will be showing more of my kids because I have to pay them. That's the deal. I got to pay them. Now they want to build up their streaming, their Steam accounts, and they want to get another Raspberry Pi. Them suckers cost like $200. So I'm like, y'all gonna have to work for it. So that's the deal. So there'll be more, and I'll probably have that on IG, just more pictures of the kids and stuff like that. But yeah, so back to you, Intentionally Made. Duolingo is great. Jessica, my love, says try Memrise. See, y'all, there goes Jessica with all her great information. Memrise, italki. I've heard of italki for live language classes, Spanish readers, keeping a Spanish notebook for vocabulary, grammar, and Spanish is such a fun language. Absolutely, 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 y'all. So I might need to do a video on Memrise. But yeah, those are just little things, like I said, atomic habits that you can do. I definitely encourage the Spanish readers. So like this is a fun way. You can go to the dollar store. Well, probably because I live in California, and the dollar store or the dollar section in Target, they have so many of those Spanish books in Spanish, like kitty books. So you can get those and just learn to read, okay? And then watch some Spanish programming, especially cartoons, okay? Learn the songs and stuff like that. So I think that's a great idea as usual. Oh, and Jessica, I know I've been saying that, but now that everything's over, I'm going to be contacting you, Miss Lady. Definitely. Did I miss the well-ordered language video? Yes, you did. I think I did it maybe 3 videos ago. So it's fairly recent. So you don't have to go back far on my page. So go check that out. Jess says Droplets for Kids app for language learning is similar to Duolingo, but I think it's way easiest to digest for kids. Okay, now see, I haven't heard of that. So let me get my game up. What is that? Droplets for Kids app. Okay. This is great. Thank you, my love. And guys, listen. A lot of you guys have a lot of great information. You're using a lot of great resources. Don't be shy with it, okay? And just share it with the world so we all can learn and benefit. Scratch and Foos help my kids with coding. Yes, I think I remember Foos. Lillian, a follow-up with well-ordered language and MCT would be great. I'm already using well-ordered language 1 and love it because of the structure. Yes. I recently got MCT and I'm trying to figure out how to incorporate it with WOL. So if you have MCT, the grammar island, the whole point of the grammar island is to read the entire book. Okay. And then when you're done with the book, then you go to the practice island. I'm looking at the wrong monitor, webcam. Then you go to the practice island and practice the diagramming. Now, if you don't want to do that, you can use the well-ordered language for your diagramming because they diagram in well-ordered language. Okay. What I like about well-ordered language is that you get to diagram in so many different ways, and then they break down the sentences in different ways where you kind of get a better understanding of all the parts of speech and how they work, and then they throw in some poetry and stuff like that. So but both of those approaches are classical, so that's why they kind of go well together. MCT is classical, is classically based, and so is well-ordered language. So that's why there's some symbiosis between the two. So but again, make it work how you want to make it work. But I would definitely read all of MCT. It's not that long. Take maybe 2 weeks, maybe do a chapter a day, or however long you want to read. And then but still be working on well-ordered language. Keep working on that, and then just read read MCT, because when you go back and forth, you kind of get more clarity. Once you do something, you sit back, do something else, you come back to something, you say, oh, okay, now I see this. I didn't see it before, or whatever. So you can't go wrong. Tinker and I love Scratch Junior. Yes, both of those are good for coding. Danielle says, what writing program do you recommend for high school? My 16-year-old is finishing up IEW now. I'm looking for a new program. Now, that depends on what kinds of writing your child is really interested in, because IEW is structured academic writing. Now, if your child wants to move over to creative writing, that's going to be a totally different program. If your child likes the structure of Andrew's writing program, I thought it went up and through high school. IEW. Am I wrong on that? I thought IEW went up and through to high school. But if you don't want to use that anymore for academic writing, see, I have a writing background, and I just intend to, like, for writing and rhetoric, like, that's totally different from IEW, totally different kind of writing. So I'm not sure for academic writing. Right now, I'm liking Greg Barron, but it's just like, it's a technique. It's not a program. It's not a writing program. Now, I do like Write Source. I actually like Write Source. Why? Because it integrates the 6 traits of writing. So it takes all that abstract, intangible, gooey stuff out of English writing and gives it some structure. Okay. For kids who are logical thinking, they don't get inferences or, just too much interpretation. Kids just want to know, is this? Is this? They don't know what's a good paragraph versus the best paragraph or a poor paragraph, or, what makes a sentence strong or not. You get subjectivity in there. So, with the 6 traits of writing, they learn what different kinds of writing look like by using 6 traits. What is it? Let me do the acronym. Voice, organizations, ideals, conventions, which is just grammar rules and things like that. And then I'm gonna say voice, no, tone. No, that's voice. I forget the other one, but I like that together. So, but if your child has been doing IEW for a while, or just been doing it, I would want to know if you want to switch to like more creative writing, or if you want to stay with more of the academic writing. Because I can give you a lot of things I can throw at you, but I would want to know just a little bit more. Let's see, what else? Crystal, how is well-ordered language different from first language lessons from the well-trained mind? When we first started homeschooling back in 2011, I want to say, or 2012, we use FLL. That's Susan Wise Bauer's book. Susan Wise Bauer created the Well-Ordered Mind book, which is like the Bible for classical homeschoolers. And I was so new. I didn't know my teaching style. I didn't know my son's learning style. And I didn't know that much about different kinds of curriculum. I just knew that all of the homeschoolers around me raved about it. And so I was going to use it. It is classically based. So right there, you have similarities between well-ordered and first language lessons. They're both classically based. You're going to find poetry. You're going to find readings, artwork, things like that. But it was a little too dry for my son at the time. And it was also, I didn't think I needed to start him on grammar. I think it was in 3rd grade, like when I introduced it to him. Yeah, so for 3rd grade, I was like, you know what? He doesn't really need to know this right now. I want to have this precious time with him to focus on big ideas and things like that. And then we can worry about grammar later. I mean, I told you what, I worked at Columbia University in New York City, and I would get papers from graduate students, and y'all, we have spell check and stuff, and they still turning stuff grammatically incorrect. So I'm like, we're not gonna waste our precious time on this. But some people really like it, some people don't like it. Again, it could have been something where I was just really new at it. If I had revisited it like a year later or 2 years later, it would have been just fine. But dang, do I still have the book? I might even have the first book. I'm gonna have to look and see, because if I do, I'll do a comparison side by side. But yeah, so but if anyone else has experience with first language lessons, I do know that if you're going to go through with the progression of first language lessons to what's after first language lessons, I forget. Some parents felt it was too much, and they would like kind of take a break from it or bring in something else. But you will learn, that's for sure. Just says, does well ordered language have any samples to try out? Um, Classical Academic Press. Let's find out. Let me check right now. Classical Academic Press usually does, because that's the publisher. Classical Academic Press. And we want well ordered language sample pages. Well, hey, hold on. I'm the publisher right now. I got the book right here. I got one of the books. Let's see. Oh, but you do want samples though, so but hold on. Hope my booty's not in the camera. All right. I got 2A, 1B. What's the other one? See, 1B, 1A, and I have, where's 2B? Well, anyway, but let's just see, because you might want to just be able to download the sample. So let me just see about getting to that. Okay. Wait, let me just share my screen, guys. Hold on. I always forget to do that. Let me share my screen. Okay, let me see if I can do this right. I always mess it up. Share screen. Okay, no, I don't have 2 monitors. I'm gonna try to make this work. Window, Chrome, and here we go. All right. Okay. I hope you can see this. Okay, so I'm gonna go to samples. First system results. Okay, sampler. We want, well, oh, here we go. For school review only, whatever. Hold on, let me come back and see if you guys can see it. Hey guys, if you can see the Classical Academic Press website, put a 1 in the chat. I mean, you see me right now because I just clicked over to say this, but if you can see the Classical Academic Press website, I'm looking at well-ordered language sampler. Put a 1 in the chat so I can kind of go through the page. Can y'all see the page? Yes, writing with ease. That's the next level after first language lessons. Guys, can you see, if you can see the Classical Academic Press website, put a 1 in the chat real quick. I see 22 of y'all in here. Somebody give me, oh, nope, you can't see it? Oh, shoot. Watching it. Oh, duh, I gotta click it. Add to stream. Okay, now can y'all see it? Fingers crossed. Give me a 1. Can y'all see the screen now? I'm looking at it right now. Y'all can't see it? Kimiko, you said no? Okay, what about now? Can y'all see it now? I added it to the stream. Oh, victory. All right. Okay, so let me go over here and, all right, so it says well-ordered language sampler. No money. What does it entail? For grades 3 through 6, this physical sampler includes excerpts from levels 1 through 4. Teachers and administrators are invited to use this free resource to explore, blah, 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 blah. This resource is for evaluation purposes, blah, 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 blah. All right, how do we get it? Interested in receiving a review copy for your school? Okay, blah, blah, blah. Request a review copy of this and within the form below. Okay, we do contact you. You got to go through all that to get a sample? John, if you want to do all that, they're making it seem like it's guarded information. But there you go. So if you want to get a sample, just, you're a homeschooler and you're a school. So you qualify to get a sample. But in the interim, what level do you want to see? Who asked to see the sample? Y'all can go look at my video on well-ordered language, or who asked for the sample? Oh, Crystal. No, not you, Crystal. Was it you? No. Oh, Jess. Yeah, so this is 2A. So, with classical, you're going to get a lot of stories and stuff like that. Yes, this is a grammar book, but then here you go with the pages. Okay. So that's what that looks like toward the end. Okay. More reading and stuff. So, but I'll probably do a follow-up. I am still going to do so many reviews on all this curriculum because I want to get rid of all this stuff, at least box it up. All right, let me catch up on these samples so I can go order. Oh, it's 6 o'clock. Why y'all keep me on here so long? All right. Intentionally made. I have been binge watching first language lessons and writing with ease because I want to start that with my son before moving him to writing and rhetoric in well-ordered language. I heard it's a good transition. Okay. It's a big transition. I don't know what you're watching. I don't know if you're watching YouTube videos for first language lessons or I'm not sure. Look at you can't, let me say this, you cannot intentionally made. You cannot go wrong with either one. You're probably going to want to put some time. See, the thing with classical curriculum, you got to give it some time. It's like opening wine, like a heavy wine, like a Bordeaux or Meritage or Pinot Noir. You have to give it time to breathe, like 20 minutes or so. In our case, like a couple of weeks, a month or two, because it's lots of layers involved that you're not going to be quite aware of in the beginning. Okay. So that's why people will finish FLL and will switch to something else because they put that time in and they don't want to just switch to something else. So it's not just something you can kind of just jump in and then, like with well-ordered language and Michael Clay Thompson, yeah, you can hopscotch back and forth because MCT for grammar is just really, it's compact to the point, it's not all drawn out and stuff. So I would, I don't know. I'm not sure how to advise you on that. I would use copies of first language lessons and writing with ease, because writing with ease is different than writing and rhetoric. So I don't know. Maybe you might want to use, because with writing with ease, I think you're going to be maybe in 5th grade, if I'm not mistaken. Usually around that time. If I'm not mistaken, I'm not sure. I don't know. Maybe I should research that some more and see. Because I used to be on the Well Trained Mind forum, but I had moved on from that. But try it out and see. But just, binge watch, and then maybe I'm going to say start with writing and rhetoric because I just think it's a wonderful program and it goes well with well-ordered language. That's just me. But it's not a transition into writing and rhetoric. It's this or that. You see what I'm saying? So two complete comprehensive programs. So if you're thinking of doing first language lessons and then maybe transitioning into writing and rhetoric, or like one or the other, because one's language, one's grammar, one's writing. So if you were doing first language lessons and you were done with that and maybe you wanted to transition into well-ordered language, yeah, I could see. But I think if you were doing first language lessons, you might be ready for maybe level 2 for well-ordered language. I would have to put them side by side to see like how it breaks down, like where first language lessons ends, you pick up at this point with well-ordered language. Where writing with ease ends, you pick up at this level with writing and rhetoric. So you'll have to really have all the curriculum and look at the scope and sequence to see what their work, what's being addressed, how thorough it is, and then compare it to the other curriculum and then decide, okay, at chapter 10 out of 12, we're going to bounce and head over here. But have fun with it. continue binge watching and have fun with it. I just wasn't sure because it's been so long since I used FLL. So it's just been so long. So I just don't want to guide you wrong. Okay. Danielle, he's doing the 24-week online class. He likes doing independent work. Oh, that was my other point with my update. So I'm looking for a program he can do mainly by himself. I want him to feel comfortable and well-rounded in his writing for college. You know what? I have this classic book that oh, it's so good. It's called The Writers. It's a college book. At this point, at 16 years old, your child can just start doing college writing using textbooks. There are actually some pretty good, decent college textbooks out there on the market. And I have one of them. I don't have it right here, though. Let me write that down. So college writing, and it's not as scary as it seems. It's just more of the same. College writing textbooks for high schoolers. For high schoolers. Okay, because with my son, well, I can't even say because now he's in public school. We're going to have to figure things out come second semester, at the end of second semester, depending on what happens with school and stuff like that. But I'll come back to that because there are some, you know what, this might be a time to consider dual enrollment, at the community college level. As a way to start preparing him for college. But if you're doing entry level, it'll be, challenging because there's more writing, but something that, you can definitely expose him to. But if you wanted him to do something before, maybe if you don't want to do dual enrollment at the community college, I would look around for place like, okay, so depending on how rigorous you want the program to be, there are a number of online accredited programs like Pennsylvania AP Homeschoolers. It's Pennsylvania Homeschoolers, and they have a plethora of writing programs, very solid writing programs. You do honors, you do regular, you can do AP prep, a lot of writing classes. Also, Athena's Academy, they have wonderful writing classes. We've done them before. Online G3, we did Paragraph Town. It's all right. I didn't feel, it was just blah. Their other classes are amazing, but the writing, I was left like, it was lackluster to me. Athena's Academy is great. AP Homeschoolers is awesome. There's another one that's big, Wilson Academy. They have a lot of great writing classes. The welltrainedmind.com, the Well-Trained Mind Academy, they have a lot. As a matter of fact, every year I would sign my son up for writing because I love their writing classes. We would just always have a conflict. But they have expository writing. They have they have it all. But yeah, so those are online sources where, especially for high school, if you want to have a teacher, if you want to have him given a grade for writing, because check this out. So for transcripts, there's kind of like a hierarchy of classes. Like for your math classes, definitely, you don't have to do a lot of proving that the grades your child has are legit, because your child can easily, it's because it's sequential. If you're in algebra 2, it's because you passed algebra 1, right? For writing, there is no barometer. So for some of those classes that are more abstract and subjective, for high school, if you wanted to have someone else, a third party, teach that to your child, if only to have like one class on record, then writing, I would definitely choose a writing, okay? Just so your child could start getting feedback from a teacher other than you, and start seeing, and I say that as I have a journalism degree, I have a strong writing background, and I didn't teach my children writing for a while. Okay. I really wanted them to hear the voice and feedback from someone else not connected to me, because they're always around me. They know my thoughts, all of that. So math doesn't matter, but for writing, for me, it did. So that's just something to think about. Outsourcing some of those, a writing class, Athena's Academy, I think they have like just a semester-based one, or try the writing workshops. Those are really, really good, just to see if if your child has the chops, because those classes are challenging. All right, so I hope that helps. Let's see. I'm going to wrap this up in a minute because I want to finish up the last part of my homeschool update. Y'all know I get long-winded. You can click on the actual book you need and see the sample. Oh, okay, cool. All right, cool. See, Lily says there are several chapters available to download for free for each level. Oh, guys, did you hear that? So if you want to get some grammar, some free grammar pages from Classical Academic Press for well-ordered language, then you can get several chapters available for each level. I did not know that. So thank you for sharing that. I asked on the Classical Academic Press Facebook page, and a lot of people said it is, but I truly don't know. Wait, asked about what? What did you ask them intentionally? About the samples? Let me go back and see. And then I'm going to finish up. Oh, about transitioning, you said? Sorry, I just meant for a bridge to gain more stamina for copywork. Oh, for copywork? Girl, listen, I would use writing and rhetoric in grade 4. Son is in 3rd grade right now. Okay. For a bridge year to gain more stamina for copywork. So if you like the curriculum that you're using right now, keep it. Copywork is so easy to supplement. Find out what he likes, whatever he likes, and pull sentences from that. Maybe your child likes Pokemon. Get a Pokemon book, go to the dollar store, get a Pokemon book, or go online and get excerpts. And that's the copy work. For the copy work, you can have lofty passages from Hemingway or Langston Hughes or whatever, or because it's good writing that your child is also emulating. But you can also have fun stuff that your child is motivated to write, because what's the purpose of copywork? One is to imitate good writing, because you're constantly seeing it and osmosis. But also the other point of copywork is your working memory. How much information can you hold in your head? It's like the memory game where you flip 2 cards, and if you get a match, you keep that set. If not, turn it back over and find the next set. The look, talk about memory. The Lord, what was I saying? So the help me out. What was I saying? Let me go back to here. Oh, copywork. So for copywork, it is to stretch and work your memory. That's why I said the one thing I like about classical education is that there are so many layers involved. You'll just look at it and say, "Oh, it's a lot of reading. It's a lot of this. It's a lot of that." But there are so many other components embedded into it that you won't even become aware of it until like years later or a year later. And then you're like, "Where did that come from?" Because it was atomic habits, atomic steps every day. You didn't know it because it was just subtle. So with the copywork, if you want to build up his stamina, give him stuff that he likes, okay? Or you can go onto YouTube and find something that they like on YouTube. Usually I would say like a cartoon or some kind of story, and then do the caption and just print that out. Or go online and write, just type in copywork Barbie goes to Hollywood. I don't know. Just any show that your child likes, and just get the closed caption, which is just the words, the subtitles, and just copy that for you, or make a photocopy. Just make a photocopy of it, and then for your child, get them a copy, get just a regular notebook, and just read it off every day. And then you can increase it in complexity. But right now you're doing the working memory. You want to build stamina, and then you can eventually, add in more meatier sentences. Just it's on and off, on and off. Like for our reading, we'll do a heavy book like Things Fall Apart by I forget how to say his name, Chinua Achebe. And then we'll do something lighthearted like Mad Max or Mad Libs, or I don't know, that's not a book, but you know what I'm saying? Something heavy, something light, something heavy, something light. So with the copy work, you know, something light, you know, and then if you want to bring in something that has a more sophisticated syntax or sentence structure, then you can, you know, bring in something with that. So yeah, so yeah, you don't have to do any other curriculum outsourcing. Just do the copy work like that. Just keep that notebook, and that would be a great keepsake at the end of the year for them to see their trajectory, their progress, and also just to see what they've kind of, you know, how much they've been able to hold. They'll start seeing their sentences get longer, or there's more punctuation involved. There's quotations, there dashes, there ellipses, and things like that. And they'll be really amazed. Their grammar will improve. So you get all kinds of little bonus um, uh, additions to that. Okay. Thank you so much. You're welcome, Danielle. You're welcome, intentionally made. Okay, I'm caught up on the one of these days I'm going to have a really short homeschool update. So let me wrap it up. Science supercharged. So going back to the science. So excuse me. You can just get a good solid book. I like Janet Cleave. You can get them on eBay for $3, $4. She's got one for biology, chemistry, physics, forensic science. She got it for everything. And it's a whole bunch of experiments. Just Google it. You don't even have to buy a book. Just I would supercharge science. Mr. Q, programs that are just more on just hands-on experiments, not all this lab writing, not all this textbook writing. Aurora Lipper, she's a former NASA scientist, amazing woman. She's got a lot of information. She's a little salty with her stuff, but lots of experiments. And you can talk to her and get, like, if your experiment failed, you can get feedback from her. Yeah, so just let your kids just have fun experimenting. Maybe for the first 6 weeks, focus on biology. The next 6 weeks, focus on chemistry. That way you get time to get all your materials together. So, you know, you're not going back and forth with biology one week, chemistry the next week, you know, just for your peace of mind, have everything all, you know, nice and put together. And then, you know, in another 6 weeks, do physics, then astronomy, or, you know, what's the water one? Microbiology, not micro, whatever. Just, you know, but I would go to supercharged science and just look at all the different topics and experiments and things that you can do, and then go have fun with it. All right. Okay. Okay. So to me, okay. So, and finally, one thing that I've learned, not looking back, but looking forward, independent work. Doesn't matter how young your child is. I have an old popular video about homeschooling multiple ages at the same time. And part of that is teaching them at an early age how to work independently based at their skill level. You got a 5-year-old, they probably have the attention span of 5 minutes, okay? But they can work independently for 5 minutes. It's atomic habits, right? You slowly build. So with my kids, as they're getting older, I'm stretching that out. And I'm also having my oldest one help my younger one. Now, this is the life skill I've been working on with my kids, because when I'm not here one day, I need them to be able to work together, you know, to get stuff done. And so usually my youngest son is pretty resistant, but now he's letting his older brother help him, like with they do history together. My youngest one is always, you know, writing slowly, joking around, coloring all slow. And my oldest one is like, I'm already on the next page. Mom, do I have to work with him? So I'm like, y'all gotta work it out, or we're gonna be homeschooling all day. And then they figure it out, they work it out. So that's where we are now. So other things didn't work in the past. I didn't look back. I said, no, we're gonna try it and just pretend like disasters that are in the past are staying in the past. So not looking back, just moving forward. Okay. Just like if you ate that double fudge chocolate cake at 8 o'clock in the morning and you're supposed to be on your diet, but your friend had a birthday party and you brought that cake home at 8 o'clock in the morning. When you ate that, you feeling bad about yourself. No, okay, that's in the past. Your day starts at 9 o'clock in the morning. So that 8 o'clock indulgence is in the past. Don't look back. start your day at 9 o'clock and go forward 24 more hours. Okay. So that's what we're going to do. We're not looking back at my disasters with my kids working together. We're looking forward, and it's working. So independent work. I got another video coming out on how to foster independent work. You might have to go in some bribes in the beginning. Y'all know your kids. But the end goal is to get them to be able to work together when you got different skill levels or different attitudes and just different personalities. Also, okay, now to me, my changes, y'all usually my nails all nice and done and shiny, but I've been in the garden. I got dishpan hands. My nail, every single nail is cracked. You can't even see that. You can't even see it. Every nail is cracked and broken off. I meant to put some pictures on IG. Y'all know I'm a city homesteader. That might sound like an oxymoron, but if you know, if I could just get rid of this big old hot tub in my backyard, I would have some chickens in my backyard. I'm trying to work on my husband. He's attached to that, even though he hasn't been in it in like a year and a half. But y'all know the world's changing, and we got food shortages going on. We got a lot of stuff going on, and you know, we got to get serious about doing for self. Now, as homeschoolers, you already do for self education wise, but we also need to do that where our food is concerned, our health is concerned. So I think I planted about 60, 70 plants, no joke. And I transplanted 3 or 4 trees, fruit trees, and I'm sprouting more seeds right now. I ordered my medicine cabinet. I ordered some old school medicinal seeds. I'm gonna make a video for that. I promise. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna take you into my medicine cabinet, which is my garden off to the side of my bedroom, so you guys can see the herbs that I'm growing for health and to ward off any of those that might come our way. So I definitely want to start showing you guys more on that side. So that's what I've been doing. I've also been reading this book called Plant Paradox. It was recommended to me by Lady Led. I know some of you guys watch Led Farmer 73. He's my most favorite gardener. Well, his wife, Lady Led, she lost a lot of weight, and she used Dr. Gundry's, she read his book, Plant Paradox, and she's been able to keep that weight off of her for a very, very long time. And when I got the book based off of reading her book, which is called Worth the Wait, weight is WEIGHT, I was like, oh my gosh, this makes perfect sense. So I went onto Amazon to buy the book, and check this out. Amazon said, purchase 2016 or 17. I'm like, what? Y'all know I have so many books, but all this book knowledge is useless if it's not applied. And I was so embarrassed. I'm like, oh my God, I could have been helping my child because my son has a lot of mucus, my youngest one. And I was like, oh my God. So sometimes we just have to just slow it down and zoom out. Just zoom out and see the big picture. So I've been implementing some of the practices in this book, and part of that is me really upping my herbology game. And let me tell you, my son, the inflammation that my son has had, because mucus is a cause of inflammation, it's changing him, and I'm so pleased. And I definitely am going to do a video on that so you can see the change. I mean, it's real. So and I'm going to try it for myself because I was just doing it for him. Like, I'm healthy. You know, I've been at the same weight since I was 19 and blah, 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 blah. Now you can be skinny and be really unhealthy on the inside. So, so that's what I've been up to. And that's it. So that's my long-winded hour and 24 minutes. I don't even know who watches this stuff after the live, but if you do, God bless you. I appreciate it. Like, share, and subscribe. Every now and then people come in and they drop off jewels that are very useful. So so I, you know, try to stay to the end and get some of this stuff. But you know, I'll put out some pre-recorded videos so you guys can just get the information and just go. But I like these updates because it's my way to think out loud and hear some of my mistakes, my successes, my aha moments, and to just bond with you guys. I'm an open book. You know, I ain't got it together. I'm just trying to get my kids to adulthood, be happy, healthy, and respectful. So there you go. Any other questions before I get out of here? Supercharged Science is so fun. I love her live videos on Facebook. Oh, she gives you so much information. I did not know she was live on Facebook, and I bought the live component part, so I need to go check that out. I also like her free email videos on a certain science topic, and she provides the lesson outlines you can download. Yes, I'm telling you guys, I do Supercharge. I pay like $37 a month, and even if you don't pay for her stuff, she's got a lot of free stuff out there. You can just have fun, and there's no pressure. Your kids are just learning. Thing is, just go get your supplies, your materials that you're going to need, because once your kids get into doing those experiments, they're going to want to keep doing them, and you're going to want to make sure you got some of the basic materials on hand. Okay. Good for you. I'm homesteading in North Texas. Roots and Refuge Farm is a wonderful channel to learn from on YouTube. I love Roots and Refuge. Yes, I follow them because they moved. They moved their whole farm. Where were they? I want to say Tennessee or Arkansas. I think Arkansas. I don't remember where they moved though, but they moved the horses, the chickens, I don't know how that woman did it. I forget her name, but she's got such an easy smile, really nice smile. But yeah, I love Roots and Refuge. But yeah, good for you for homesteading in North Texas. I'm big in the crypto game, and I'm just biding my time before I can buy some property in Texas, because that's where my family's from. Because I want land, and I want to not grow my chickens. I want to raise chickens. I want a lot of trees. I want a pond. I want like an orchard of, you kind of limited in North Texas not in North Texas, but in Texas, what you can grow. Like in California, at least in Southern California, you can pretty much grow anything year round. So, but to have more land, I don't care if I'm limited with what I can grow. I want the space. I want the tractor. I want ATVs. I'm envisioning, if I have grandchildren, them coming over and just, outside ripping and running all day long. I just, I've always had that in my heart, and I just somehow ended up in big city, the second largest city in the country. And I'm like, I just need, like, if I took you to my backyard and my patio, you'd be like, it's a tropical jungle here, because I have plants in every room. I just have to have Mother Nature around me. So, but yeah, Intentionally Made, do you make videos? Because I would love to watch your homesteading channel. Absolutely. Like, I watch Homestead Heart, Granny Karma. They're all homesteaders. But yeah, I definitely like Roots and Refuge. All right. So if those are all the last comments, I'm about to wrap it up. So today is Tuesday. I will be live. I don't know what time, but I will be live for Friday, for a Friday night Hot Topics. I haven't done that in a while. I'm bringing that back. We are doing Friday night. Hold on, let me double check. Hot Topics. I'll put a poll up just to kind of remind myself of what's a good time for you guys. I usually do it 4:30 Pacific time. So I just want to kind of get a feel. Oh yeah. Okay, so my sons have karate from 5 to 5:45. And then they have the private trainer. All right, I'll find out. I'll see if my husband if anything, I'll start at 6. So 6 o'clock Pacific time, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's not too late. I'll see. We're gonna have Friday Night Live. Okay. So I just don't know what time. And then I will have an announcement coming soon about this channel and the direction that I'm going in and all that good stuff. So I'm happy to be back. It's good to see you guys. And don't forget to like this video. It helps YouTube push the video out to more people, so we can grow the channel and we can reach more homeschoolers. And also get your free homeschool checklist down below in the description box. That is free. That is to help you get your day straight. and keep track of what you're doing. And yeah, that's it. So I love you guys. Thank you for staying with me, all of you guys, my diehards. And I'll be reaching out to some of you guys within the next couple of days for some stuff. And I love you guys. I'll see you in a couple of days. Bye. Good night, coffee and cream. Good night.